different methods of your job search and how to conduct that. So again, thank you for coming. If you have questions, please make sure you share them so that I can answer them at the end of the presentation. And I will make the presentation and any materials available. And I believe that Sharon's going to be emailing those out, as well as my contact information. So again, thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Okay, so writing your cover letter. Now, I know that some people may be asking if a cover letter is absolutely necessary when applying for a position. The answer is yes. So if it is requested in the job posting, you absolutely want to include it. However, if it's not requested, you should still absolutely include it. And the reason is that it shows that you're going above and beyond. It's also going to help provide a little additional information about you to the reader and to the employer. Okay? So the purpose of your cover letter is that it introduces your resume. It informs the employer about what opportunity you're interested in. Many organizations have more than one position or opportunity posted at a time. And the cover letter will state, and we're going to go through this, will state which specific position you're interested in. Your cover letter also provides detailed examples of your strongest qualifications. And again, we're going to talk about this some more. Okay, so here are a few tips when writing your cover letter that you will want to consider and keep in mind. The first is that we want to avoid addressing the cover letter to whom it may concern. It is always, the best choice is always to address your cover letter to a specific person. Now, I know that a job posting does not always have the name of either the hiring manager or the human resources person or the person who is going to be reviewing the applications. So there are a couple of different things we can do. The first, and what I really recommend, is seeing if you can find a phone number for human resources or for the company that you're applying to, and just call the company and ask who you can address your cover letter to. When I applied for my first job at Hudson County Community College, I was an academic advisor, and the job posting did not have who the hiring manager was going to be or who was in charge of the search committee, or it didn't have a contact person. It did, however, have a phone number for human resources. So I called human resources and I told them that I was which position I was interested in and asked who I could address my cover letter to. Lo and behold, I get an interview and I go to the interview, and the dean of students was who I addressed the cover letter to, and he was the chair of the search committee. And during my interview, he said to me, "How did you know to address your cover letter to me?" And I said, "I called HR and I asked." And he said, "This is really great. It shows that you took the extra step. I promise you, if you take the extra step and call to find out who to address your cover letter to, it will not go unnoticed." Now, if there is no phone number, or if you Google the company and you can't find a phone number, or nobody answers the phone, or nobody will give you a name, which unfortunately does happen, you can address your cover letter to "Dear Hiring Manager, Dear Human Resources, Dear Search Committee." We want to stay away from "Dear Sir or Madam" or "To whom it may concern." Okay? The second tip that I have for you when writing your cover letter is research the organization. This is going to come in very handy when we talk about writing paragraph 3. And you'll see that in a minute. I'm going to show you a sample cover letter. Okay, so you want to research the organization. The third tip is you want to use the same font and format as your resume. We want your professional documents in your application to be consistent. Okay, so we want the same font, the same formatting, we want the same header, so that your contact information on your resume that has your name, your address, your phone number, your email, whatever that looks like, we want that to be the same on your cover letter. We also want it to be the same on your reference page. The reason for this is that if somebody prints out all of your documents and for some reason they get separated, it will be very easy for them to find their way back to each other and for your application materials to find their way back together. Okay, the last thing that we want is for somebody not to be able to have your full application, including your cover letter. Okay, the next tip is to limit your letter to no more than 1 page. For a resume, and you may have heard this in other presentations, going over a page is okay, but for your cover letter, we really want to stick to one page. Okay? And lastly, we want to keep it positive. So in paragraph 2, which I'm going to show you shortly, you're going to address your qualifications. You really only want to address your strengths. So we want to keep your cover letter positive, upbeat for the reader. So here we have a sample cover letter, and this is actually, it has a different name on it, but this is actually my cover letter. Now I will tell you this, the hardest part about writing a cover letter is writing it the first time. Once you've written it the first time, you're just going to make some adjustments to paragraphs 2 and 3, which we're going to talk about, and you're just going to adjust and tweak for every position that you apply to. So every job that you apply to should have its own cover letter. Okay, I have had the same cover letter for 10 years, and all I have done is gone in and adjusted paragraphs 2 and 3. So we'll start at the top with this sample. Okay, you again want to have your contact information, your name, your address, your phone number, and your email address. Please make sure it's a phone number and an email address where you check the voicemail and the mailbox frequently, and that you have an appropriate voicemail message and an appropriate email address listed. You want to have the date at the top, and then again you want to address it to a specific person if possible. So, dear Mr. Smith. Okay. Your first paragraph is going to stay the same except for 2 pieces of information. One is the position title, and the second is where you found the job posting. Okay, and this paragraph briefly identifies the position and the industry. It identifies the position and where you found the job posting. So I am writing in response to your posting for a career counselor posted on higheredjobs.com. I am extremely interested and excited about this opportunity and feel that my experience and skills, coupled with my enthusiasm and passion, make me an excellent candidate. That second sentence does not have to be that, but it needs to be something that is going to be very broad and explain your interest in the position in a very brief way. Okay? And again, that can stay the same except for the position title and where you found the job posting. Paragraph 2 is going to outline your strengths and your strongest qualifications as they relate to the requirements for the position. Now, we're not always going to have every requirement and every qualification for the position, and that's fine. But what we want to do in this second paragraph is highlight your strongest qualifications and highlight your strengths. And we're not going to talk about or worry about the ones that you don't have. You also want to make sure in this paragraph that you're providing evidence that relates to those strengths and your experience and your accomplishments as they relate to those strengths. Okay? And you also want to highlight ways that you'll be able to contribute to the company and the organization that you're applying to. So, as the Acting Director of Career Development at Hudson County Community College, I am tasked with building the department from the ground up. One of my primary functions of this is to initiate, build, and maintain relationships with employers who provide internship and employment opportunities for students. So I can tell you, because this is mine, that was talking about having experience in building employer relationships. So what I did was I highlighted how I was doing that in the current role that I was in. Okay. Through this position and my previous roles as at the Career Development and Advisement Center at William Patterson University, Montclair State University, and other educational institutions, I have been responsible for interacting with students to assist them in the exploration of possible career choices and academic majors, resume and cover letter writing, and interviewing and networking skills. So I was speaking to my experience working one-on-one with students as it relates to career tools. I have planned and executed workshops on a variety of topics, as well as interacted with employers to promote students, alumni, and career events. So I was talking about my presentation skills. Additionally, I was part of a team that surveyed and collected internship and employment data for more than 1,100 graduating seniors, Pioneer Salute at WPU, assisted with the planning and execution of career fairs and mock interview workshops, and created and presented department support materials to provide students with vital career information. So that last sentence, I was talking about some of the additional accomplishments that I've had working in career development. Okay? So again, I kept it very positive. I talked about the things that I was most proud of and my strengths as they related to the position and the requirements of the position. Okay? So that paragraph, paragraph 2, depending on the types of jobs that you're applying to, if you're applying to the same types of jobs, you may only need to tweak one sentence. You may not need to adjust it at all. Okay, but you should make sure that you're reading the job description and reading the qualifications and making sure that you are highlighting, again, your strongest qualifications. Paragraph 3 is explaining why you want to work for the company. Okay, now if it's not the company in particular that you want to work for and it's the field in which you are working in, then you want to explain why you're passionate about that field. Okay. So William Patterson holds a special place in my heart. I would love nothing more than to be able to have the opportunity to, again, work with its students to help them develop and achieve their goals. Okay, so I'm talking about that I had been here previously in an internship as an intern, and how special this university is to me. I'm accustomed to working in a fast-paced environment where multitasking and personal attention to all aspects of a project are key. I enjoy meeting and working with new people and feel I can effectively interact with anyone. So I threw in 2 sentences about my transferable skills. Okay, for those of you who don't know, transferable skills are skills that we can transfer from any job to any job in any field to any field. So I wanted to make sure that these were things that the search committee that was reading my cover letter and my application knew about me that I was proud of. Okay? So this one, again, your paragraph 3, you're going to have to adjust depending on where you are applying. Okay? The last paragraph, paragraph 4, is going to stay the same for every cover letter that you write. Okay? And this thanks the reader for their time and their consideration, and you want to repeat your contact information. Okay? Please find my resume attached for your review. I look forward to hearing from you and having the opportunity to discuss this position and my qualifications in more detail. I can be contacted at, and I've listed a phone number, or by email at, and there is my email address there. Thank you for your time and consideration. Then you want to make sure you have a salutation, so regards, sincerely, best, and your full name. Okay, so this is an example of a cover letter, and this is the general format that we give to current students and alumni when we are working with them to create a cover letter. Okay. Sharon, do we have any questions on cover letters at this point?
I think you answered the 3 that had come in already about there should be a fresh cover letter for every job, is what you said.
Yep.
Yes, a cover letter should be necessary for every job application. And someone asked whom you should address the cover letter to if there's no point of contact. And you had given a few suggestions there too. So those are the 3 that came in so far.
Great. So what I do want to also add in terms of cover letters, and this applies to resumes and references as well, is that every time you write a cover letter or your resume, and we'll talk about this a little bit more in the job search, is that you want to make sure you're saving those documents separately for each application and each position that you're applying to. So example, I would save this cover letter, or this person would save the cover letter as J. Jones cover letter WPU, or career counselor WP, J. Jones cover letter career counselor WPU. And you want to make sure that you're saving them, because when you start getting interviews and you're printing out your materials to take with you, you want to make sure that you have the correct cover letter to refer back to. Okay? Something else that I also tell students, and actually anybody, I've told my cousin this, I've told friends this, my family members, when you're applying for jobs and you're saving your documents, I really recommend making a folder on the desktop of your computer that says applications, and inside that folder you have subfolders for each of your jobs that you apply to, and you save the cover letter, the resume, the references, if they ask for a writing sample or any supplemental materials. You save everything that you've sent for each application in its own folder. Again, that way when when you're going on interviews, you have all of the materials that you sent for that particular position, and you can print them out and take them with you.
Jenny,
Okay?
real
Yes.
quickly, could you just, someone who just got here, can you just very briefly state in the 4 paragraphs, very briefly, what each paragraph would have in it? If you
Of course. So paragraph 1 is going to briefly reveal the reason that you're writing. It's going to include identify the position that you're interested in and where you found the job posting. Paragraph 2 is going to outline your strongest qualifications as they match the position requirements. Okay, don't worry about the ones you don't have. We want to focus on the ones you do have and those that are your strongest. You want to make sure that you're providing evidence of those strengths related to your experience, previous experience, current experience, and your accomplishments. Okay? And paragraph 3 is going to be why you want to work for the company or why you want to work in that field. And it doesn't hurt to throw in some information about your transferable skills as well. Paragraph 4 is going to thank the reader for their time, and you want to make sure you're repeating your contact information. Paragraphs 1 and 4 are really going to stay the same. Paragraphs 2 and 3 are going to be what you want to tweak every time you're applying to a different position. You may have to adjust those.
Perfect.
Did I answer the question? Are we good?
Yep, that's perfect.
Okay. So now, fabulous. So now what I'd like to do is move on to the job search piece of the presentation. That doesn't mean if you have questions about cover letters that come to you while we're doing this, please make sure that you submit them so Sharon can, so that we can address them at the end of the presentation. But we're going to move on to job searching. So your job search. So some places to look. The first thing I'd like to talk about is Trailblazer. For those of you, I hope that you all know what Trailblazer is, but if you don't, not to worry, I'm going to tell you about it right now. So Trailblazer is our job search system that we provide for students and alumni of William Patterson University. So it is an online system that you can access through the Career Development website, which is part of the WPU website, and I'm going to take you there in 1 second, where you can access job postings and employer information of employers who are specifically or who are very actively looking to hire students or alumni from the university. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you guys here. Okay. So this will take you, if you can all still see my screen, this is going to take you to the Career Development homepage. And right here on this is, you'll see about partway down the page is Trailblazer for Alumni. Okay, so that is all of you. So you want to make sure that you click on that link. And what you'll do is you'll do alumni registration. You'll click this button. And what you'll need to do is fill in the registration. Okay. Now, if you have recently graduated, meaning I believe we've had this system 2 or 3 years, then you probably already have, you have had an account as a current student. You will need to make sure that you are registering as an alum. Okay. Your student account won't work. So you want to make sure that you're registering as an alum. So you're going to enter all of this information, and then at the bottom you're going to select I am not a robot and submit. What this is going to do is it's going to send your registration to a member of our department who will then go in and approve your registration. Now, we ask you to give us a few days to do this. It is not an instantaneous process, and we do not work on the weekends. So what we do is we ask you to give us probably, if you do this today, I would say give us till, because it's Thursday, probably Wednesday of next week, just because somebody has to go in and manually approve all of the registrations for both alumni and current students and employers. So please be patient with us. Once you have access to the system, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. I'm going to log into my account here. Mine's going to look a little bit different from yours, just so you all know. Okay, but what I'm going to do is, so this is what my screen looks like, but I'm going to go to student, and I'm just going to pick any student here. Now, this is the current student, but when you log in, it's going to look something like this. Okay, so it's going to have a nice home page. Okay, it's going to show your contact information. It's going to give you a news feed. So if we have any events coming up, it will be on there. Okay, and it's going to give you, the most important thing are these tabs across the top. So what it's going to do is, the first thing you'll want to do is upload your resume. Okay, once you've uploaded your resume, somebody from our department will review it and send you feedback. They're either going to approve it or they're going to not approve it. If they don't approve it, they will send you an email with feedback on your resume, and we'll work with you via email to go back and forth until we've finalized your resume. We do this because we really want your resume to be the best representation of you, and so that you look really, really great on paper, because we all know you look really great in an interview, but really great on paper to an employer, so that they want to call you and meet with you and talk to you and have you come in an interview. So we will work with you on your resume. Once your resume is approved, then you're going to have access to the jobs in Trailblazer. Okay. Oops. And I'm going to show you a different way, because this is not, oh, see, this person has not been approved, so that's why they can't do that. So I'm going to go back to my account, and I'm going to show you our job posting. So what you'll do is you'll be able to search with filters and keywords. So for right now, I'm just going to use accounting. Okay, and I will get all of our jobs that are related to accounting. Okay, so it's going to give you the name of the job, and you'll click on it, and it's going to give you the requirements, the qualifications, how you apply. Okay, and it'll give you all of this great information about the job, and then you can apply. It's either going to ask you to apply through the system, or it's going to give you an email address. It may give you a website. So Trailblazer is a really great place to start your job search. Okay, so that's one resource that we have for you guys. If anybody needs help with this, you can contact us one-on-one, and we can walk you through it. Okay, it is pretty self-explanatory. It's a lot of to register. It's filling in the blanks, and then putting in your keywords for your job search. But the first two steps are register and get your resume uploaded so we can take a look at it. So those are your first two steps. Okay, so that's the first place. This is not the only place you should be looking for jobs. Some other outlets are job boards, organizations, websites, and professional organizations. And organizations' websites are companies and organizations that you're interested in working for. Okay, so whoops, there's a transition in there that I didn't know was there. So job boards, these are a few that we recommend because they are very much inclusive, and they pull from many different sites, and lots of different types of employers and lots of different types of organizations post on these sites. So the first one I recommend, which is my favorite, is Indeed.com. There's also Simply Hired, Monster, and Career Builder. Now, the key to using these job boards is to conduct an active job search on them, and not a passive job search. So an active job search is, so all of these you have the ability to create an account and post your resume. Okay, that's up to you if you want to do that. It's not a bad thing, and it's not a bad idea. However, you can't post it and leave it and let people come to you. That's what we call a passive job search. An active job search is posting your resume, creating an account and posting your resume, but also making sure that multiple days of the week you are logging on to these sites and going through the job postings and actively applying to the postings that you see that you're interested in. Okay, so you can't just sit and let it be and keep your fingers crossed that somebody's going to come to you. If you post your resume, they will come to you, but we need you to be going to them as well. Okay, searching the job boards, submitting your applications, doing the follow-up. Okay, we're going to talk about submitting applications, how often you should do it. What I really recommend is, if you are going to be applying for jobs, what you want to do is you want to set aside time for yourself every week, and you can pick the number of days and the number of hours per day, and you want to be searching either the job boards, Trailblazer, company websites, professional organization websites, and when you find a job posting, you want to apply for it immediately. And here's why. If you collect job postings all week, say you sit down Monday and you block 3 hours of time and all you do is collect job postings for 3 hours. When you go back on Friday to apply, or you could go back on Wednesday or Thursday, even Tuesday, when you go back to apply, those postings may not be there anymore. So we always recommend, and I always recommend, that when you find a job posting that you're interested in, you apply right away. So what I really recommend is picking, I would say, 2 to 3 days a week at the minimum, and blocking yourselves at least 2 hours at a time where you sit down, you search, and you apply. You also want to make sure that you're tracking where you're applying. I did not include it in this presentation. If you give me a minute, I can probably bring it up, but I will send it to Sharon. We have a job tracking sheet. It is a sheet with columns, and it includes, you want to make sure that you are tracking the name of the company that you are applying to, the name of the position that you are applying to, the contact information of the person that you sent your application to, the source of the posting, the date you applied, and you also want to make sure that you're following up probably about 2 weeks after you apply, and you want to note that, you want to write that date down of what that date is going to be. Okay. The key with following up is that if there is a stack of 50 resumes and you call or you email to inquire, and all you want to do is say, I just wanted to confirm that my application was received. If they have a pile of applications or a folder of applications, the person that you speak to or the person who's reading your email is going to say, oh, let me go through and find this person's application, and they're going to dig your application out of the pile and they're going to look at it again, or they're going to look at it first if they haven't looked at any of the applications yet. Okay, so it's going to make you stand out. It is going above and beyond. Okay, the other thing you want to make sure that you're tracking is when you get your interviews, you want to make sure you're tracking your interview dates, and you also want to make sure that you're following up after your interviews. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're tracking your applications, and I will make sure that I send that tracking sheet to Sharon so that she can send it out with the presentation as well. Okay. Another really great source for your job search is networking. Okay, so networking is the building of relationships to exchange information with others. Now, some of you may say, well, if I'm just exchanging information, how am I going to get a job? Okay, the key is when you build those relationships and you start to get to know people, when they have opportunities or they hear about opportunities, they're going to think of you and they're going to go, oh, Jenny has experience with that. Let me share this information with her. Okay, so networking is very important, and there's a few places where you can do this. The first one is LinkedIn. Okay, I'm going to talk about LinkedIn in a few minutes. Okay, the second is in the spring we have our WPU networking events. So the Career Development Center puts on networking events in the spring. And we break that down by the colleges within the university. So we have one for humanities and social sciences. We have one for the business school. We have one for the College of Science and Health. Okay, and we have one, I believe, for the comms department. We have other events in the spring as well where you can do a little bit of networking as well. So we're looking to do a few very specific things for some of the other programs within the university. Additionally, we have the career fair in the fall semester. If you are in education, if you've graduated from education, if I have any education people out there, we're going to be having our education job fair in March. So that's also an opportunity. And also you can network interactions with any new people that you meet. So if you go to a party, if you are out with friends and you meet people at a restaurant or a bar, or if you're at a family function, maybe a wedding, okay, and you're sitting at a table with people you've never met before, these are all really great opportunities to network with people. Excuse me. Okay, so when you're networking, and also when you're doing your when you're networking, we have something called an elevator pitch or a 60-second commercial. And this is a really great way. You can, for you to introduce yourself to people. You can also use this during your interviews when you're asked, tell us a little bit about yourself. So I'm going to go through the elevator pitch for you and walk through that. Okay, so I'm actually going to do it as a document instead of this. So here we go. Okay, so you'll see, let's see if I can move this out of the way a little bit for now. Okay, so the first part of this, and we've broken it down into 4 parts. The first part of this is approximately, give or take, 10 seconds or so. And it is your name and what you're currently doing. Okay, so you want to include what your background is, what your education is, when you graduated, if you're a recent grad. Okay, so my name is Carl James, and I'm sorry, I didn't adjust this, my apologies. I am a recent graduate from William Patterson University. I have a Bachelor of Arts in Criminology and Criminal Justice and a minor in Business Administration. Okay. The second piece is briefly describing your experience, and you want to include internships, organizations you belong to, and work experience. Okay, again, accomplishment focused, just like the cover letter. Okay, and you want, if you're talking to somebody at a networking event that is working in a specific field, you want to make sure that you're tailoring this towards that field. Okay. I have completed an internship with the New Jersey District Attorney's Office, where I was able to apply the knowledge I learned in the classroom at William Patterson University to real-world situations. While I was there, I gained experience working with prosecutors and judges, filing detailed reports, and researching case evidence. Through my previous work experiences, I have also developed excellent communication, teamwork, and leadership skills by working as an assistant manager and group leader. So we've touched on skills that are important to the field that this person is looking for work in, as well as some of those transferable skills from other positions that they've had that may not be specific to criminal justice. Okay, our next piece is going to be approximately 20 seconds, and it's what you're interested in doing, what types of work you're looking for, okay? And we want to make sure that you are highlighting specifically what you'd like to do, okay? I'm interested in a position within New Jersey state government where I can utilize my knowledge of criminal justice and my experience to help enforce the law and protect the rights of those living in the state. So it's very specific about the environment. It's very specific about what type of work that this person wants to do. Excuse me. Okay. Now, for networking, we want to make sure that you are promoting two-way conversation. So what we want to do is at the end of this, you want to make sure that you're asking a question. So it can be as simple as, what do you do? So if you're meeting somebody for the first time, you can ask at the end, what do you do? If it's at a networking event here at the university and it's with a specific employer, you can say, how did you get into working with JP Morgan Chase? Or how did you get into working for the prosecutor's office? Okay, so you want to make sure that you're asking a question so that you are promoting and opening up that conversation. Okay? Are there any questions about the elevator pitch, Sharon? No? Okay. Okay, so let's head back to, did I lose you guys? You still there?
Not that, Jenny. There's actually a lot of questions, so may we start answering them right now? Would that be okay?
I have a few more slides in the PowerPoint. As you can see, I kind of lost my place here a little bit.
Okay.
Do we want to start with questions or should we continue? I have one more quick slide about LinkedIn, and then I think we can start taking some questions.
Okay, that would be great.
Okay. So lastly, what I want to talk about is LinkedIn. For those of you who don't have this, this is what I like to refer to as the professional version of Facebook. Okay, so you're going to be making connections. It's your online resume. So what I'm going to do is I want to pull up the website, and just show you guys a little bit of some of the things in here that can help you find, that can help you with networking, but can also help you with your job search. So what you want to make sure you're doing is you want to sign in. Okay, if you don't have an account yet, what you're going to do is right on the front screen, you're going to fill in this information and click join now, and that's going to create your account for you. When you, oops, wrong password, guys, sorry. I think I've changed it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What happened? Oh, there it goes. That's why. Sorry, guys. Still can't get in, huh? Here we go. Yay! Okay, so when you open up LinkedIn, once you've created your account, you're going to have this news feed on the front. And it's going to give you a couple of different things. It's going to give you the option to upload pictures, write an article, share an update, like a status. It's also going to recommend jobs that are related to your previous experience that you may be interested in. In this top corner, it's going to give you people that you may know. And then it's going to give you a feed, a news feed, similar to Facebook. Okay. Your profile is going to be the electronic version of your resume. Okay. It's going to give a summary about you if you'd like, and then it's going to highlight and detail your experience. Okay. So as you can see, as I scroll, it has my previous experience on here. If we go back to the top, it has my current position here at William Patterson. Okay. Some other great things about this are that you can have recommendations by people that you've worked with or for. They can put your letter of recommendation right on here. Okay. You can also put projects that you've done, organizations you belong to, and there's lots of other different things. What I want to focus on this is two different things that can help you find, oh, yep, that is my current position, that can help you find jobs. So the first one is right here where it says jobs. So we're going to click on jobs. And what it's going to do is it's going to recommend things that are related to my preferences. Okay, so I have some preferences in here for when I was looking for jobs. And so what it has done is it has, I'm sorry, under this Discover tab, it's recommended some jobs for me that I may be interested in. Now, I love William Patterson, so I am not interested in these positions. But if you are looking for work, this is a good place to start. The other thing you can do is right up here is you can search for jobs using job titles, keywords, company names. And then you can set your search area. So we're just going to stick with Greater New York City. And we can put in, I'm going to go with accounting again. And there's probably a lot of them, so it's taking a minute. But what it's going to do is it's going to provide you with a list of job opportunities that are related to accounting. Okay, so it has given me almost 12,000 job opportunities. That's a lot. So what you can do is you can narrow it down by location, you can narrow it by company. Okay, you have all of these filters. There's experience level. Okay, so if we were to click entry level, it's going to narrow this down for just over 3,000 jobs. Okay, and it'll tell you when it was posted. It's going to give you the name of the position. It's going to give you the company. Okay, so here's a brand new one. Here's a financial analyst for corporate accounting. So we're just going to click on this, and it's going to give you the job description. It's going to give you some of the people that work there. Okay, it's going to give you lots of different information. Here's the full job description. It's going to give you everything, the experience level, the employment type, and then it's going to give you the opportunity to apply for this position by hitting in apply. Okay, so you will be able to apply for these jobs through LinkedIn. So this is a great way to look for jobs, is utilizing LinkedIn. The other thing you can do is you can join groups. So this function here, you would go to your search, you can do it right from your home page. And in your search box at the top, you can search lots of different categories. When you want to search for people, search for jobs, you can search for specific companies. You can also search for groups. So I'll select groups, and then I would look for, let's try We'll just stick with accounting. So accounting jobs and job seekers. So you would click on this, and then you would hit ask to join or join. And this group is specifically for people who are looking for accounting jobs or who have accounting jobs available. This most likely is a national, it could be an international group because it has 88,000 members. So this is a larger group. You can search groups for accounting jobs in New Jersey. You can search groups for education professionals in New Jersey. You can search for nursing in New York. So play with your keywords, and then what you do is you're going to network within those groups to make those connections and build those relationships. That way, if somebody has a job opportunity and you belong to the same group and they have gotten to know you, they may think of you first and say, oh, Sharon would be perfect for this job that I just heard about or that I have available. Let me reach out to her and see if she's interested in applying. So part of it is going to be searching and applying, and part of it is going to be building those relationships and doing that networking. Okay. If anybody needs a little more help with LinkedIn, please feel free to contact me and I can walk you through it and help you. Okay. So now I think we can get to questions because I do know we have a lot of them and I know we are running out of time.
Okay, so I'm just gonna start. The first easy one was, will they be able to access the forms that you just showed? And yes, because we're going to send everybody a PDF of this presentation. So all the forms that you saw in there, they'll, like for your elevator pitch, they'll be able to have that, right? So
I'm going to send all of the materials, the PowerPoint, the elevator pitch worksheet, as well as the job application tracking sheet that was not in the PowerPoint, but that I mentioned. I'm going to send all of those, I'm going to send those 3 things. I'm going to send those to Sharon, and she will make sure that she sends them to all of you.
exactly. The second thing is someone tried to sign up for the Trailblazer, and the first field says student ID. It's a required field. Is that their 855 number?
Yes.
Okay, so if any of you are trying to sign up and you're an alum who graduated a long time ago, you can send me an email and let me know. I can look up your 855 for you, and then you'll be able to sign into Trailblazer, just so you know, because we had someone try to sign up as you were talking about it.
I am so happy to hear that somebody, and I hope more than one of you, is so gung-ho and excited after this that you want to sign up for Trailblazer. That makes me very, very happy.
They're doing it while you were talking. So,
Good.
so now we have more questions. The first one is about setting up a cover letter. Um, how
Okay.
how would you set up a cover letter for an entry level position or in an industry that you don't have years of extensive experience in? And that would probably be like the second paragraph they're talking about.
Okay. So what you can do is if you have no related experience, you want to focus on those transferable skills. Okay, so you want, and some of those that you would really want to highlight, you want to focus on written and verbal communication skills, interpersonal skills, leadership, teamwork, customer service, the ability to work with supervisors and those above you. Okay, those are really key skills that you want to make sure that if you don't have experience in your field that you highlight. The other thing is if you are fresh out of William Patterson, so say you graduated in May, if you have internship experience, make sure you're highlighting your internship experience. If you belong to any clubs and organizations on campus, you want to highlight your role in those. You can also highlight any volunteer work that you've done, any community service. And then you can also highlight academic projects that are related to your field. Because what you've done with academic projects is you've taken the concepts from your textbook and from your classes and you've applied them to your projects. So those are things that you can highlight as well.
Okay, another question. This person has a resume that their objective statement is aimed toward a specific position at a certain company. They want to know if they should post their resume.
No, so what you'll want to do is either remove the objective statement or make a very general objective statement. So if you're searching for positions in a specific field, tailor your objective statement for that field and not a specific position.
Okay. Okay, this question I've never heard, but is there a way to professionally ask certain job industries to not contact you on your account on job board accounts? This person gets bombarded by life insurance companies and it becomes a little time consuming. Is there a way to put your resume up there on the job boards and kind of get away from certain job areas?
It's difficult, just because when you post it, it's available to everyone. I would say what you may want to consider is if you're finding that you're getting a lot of inquiry about from fields that you're really not interested in, is you may want to consider taking your resume down for a little while, and just being very active and applying and see what happens. The other thing is you can compose a very generic email response that says, thank you for reaching out. However, I'm only interested in positions in, and say the specific field. So in accounting at this time, have a great day. Something very short, sweet, direct, to the point, and you just send that out when you're contacted and you have a very generic response.
Okay. This person noticed that we're talking about networking now. Okay, so this person graduated with a degree in biology, wants some tips on creating business cards for networking events. Should his card say that they're interested in research? If they're looking for employment, what could they do maybe to stand out on a business card at a networking event?
Okay, so business card is a great idea for a networking event, especially because not everybody has them, so it will make you memorable. What I would probably recommend is a double-sided business card. So on one side, you have your name, your contact information. It would be your full name, your phone number, your email address, and then you could even put, uh, um, biology professional or research professional. And then on the back, list your areas. So if you're going to just put your name and contact on the front, on the back, you could put biology and then list research, list, and all the different areas where you are comfortable working and that you would want to work in. So sort of like your areas of expertise.
Okay, thank you. Um, Here's another question. This is about the LinkedIn slide you showed. This person wants,
Okay.
is it okay to reach out to the recruiter that posted the job maybe a week after applying for the job? Because she noticed on LinkedIn, I noticed it too, that it sometimes shows the recruiter that posted the job.
So it never hurts to follow up after you've applied for the job. I would say give it 1 to 2 weeks and then reach out, let them know that you applied, let them know that you're very interested in the opportunity, and you can ask a basic question. Basic questions are, I want to make sure my application was received. Do you have a timeline for filling this position? Are always great ways to break the ice, when you're reaching out to a hiring manager or a recruiter, whoever's listed on the job posting.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I don't see any more questions right now. So I just want to go
Okay.
over really quickly that we will be sending you a PDF of the presentation. Um, Jenny is going to provide you with lots of forms, including the elevator pitch and how to get into Trailblazer. I've seen a couple of emails coming in, people who want their 855s numbers, so don't worry, I have your contact, and as soon as we sign off here, I will send you your 855 numbers so you can sign into Trailblazer. Here we have Jenny's information.
I'm going to adjust this really quickly because I forgot to finish my phone number. Sorry, guys. There you go.
Okay, so there's Jenny's phone number and her email address. If you have any further questions for her, we will send out the questions and the answers. We will send out this recording. We'll also put it on our YouTube channel, but you guys will all get a copy of it, so you may not need to go to the YouTube channel. But I think it was great information. Jenny, thank you so much for doing this again. And
Thank you. I just want to add that looking for a full-time job is really a full-time job in and of itself. I know that it can be very overwhelming and very frustrating. I've been there myself. When I graduated from grad school, it took me 3 months to find a job. But I promise you that if you just keep at it and you have some patience, you will all get jobs, fabulous jobs. We are here to help you, so please reach out. If you do send me an email with questions, please make sure that you include your name and a telephone number where I can reach you, just in case my answer is a little bit more than what is a little bit more in depth than what I can put in an email. I will reach out to you by phone. So please make sure if you're emailing me that you include your full name and your a phone number where I can reach you.
Okay.
So, and thank you all so much for taking time out of your day to join me. I really appreciate it, and good luck with all of your job searches.
And thank you again. And Jenny, you better check Trailblazer because I think you're going to be getting a lot of them in today. Just FYI.
We'll
So,
make sure to check that. And again, please have patience with us in the approval of your account. I promise they will all get approved. Just give us a few days.
okay. Thank you, Jenny. And thank you all for attending. We'll see you at our next webinar. Bye, everybody.